Hello and welcome to another Tech Talk Thursday. I'm here today again with some more Google Sheets, but you know what? I learned something about Google Sheets this week. So in Excel, which is of course the old school spreadsheet program that I actually came up with and used before I came to the world of Google, you can filter data. But when you filter data, it permanently filters the file unless you undo the filter. The great thing about Google is that it allows something called a filter view that you can save. So first I'm going to show you what a filter looks like, and that's going to be under your data menu. I'm going to go to data and I'm going to just create filter, and that just automatically looks at my data. Sorry, data, remove filter, data, create filter. Okay. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. I always forget that this one has a little bit of a strange thing in that it has a header row. So because we have that header row of windows, I actually have to come and select all my data. So I have about 300 rows, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to select all my data. And don't worry, these are not real kids' data. This is fake data. I'm going to come to data, and I'm going to do create filter. And that is going to turn the header columns, and if you had the header columns in the first row, you could filter from here. So if you click this button, where the two meet, it selects everything. But because I don't have them in the first row, I have to go down and select the rows individually. But now I have this handy dandy filter. So I can see who is orange for tested date, right? I can filter, fill color. I want the ones that are orange. So now I can see who's orange, and those are people who didn't take tests in the first window. That's okay, but it only tells me who didn't take the math test. If I come over here and I filter by color, I might see that some people did take the math test but didn't take the English test, or vice versa, right? So what I'd really like to be able to do is filter the data by both math and reading, okay? And I'd like to hang on to this. I don't want to do a new filter every time I do it. So if I go to data, I can do filter view. So what I'm going to do is create a new filter view. Oh, and I forgot to select again. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So I'm just doing that much data. Okay. So I'm going to create a new filter view. So I'm going to go up to data, click filter, create new filter view. Let me remove this filter first. Data, filter, create new filter view, right? So this comes up with this little thing up top that tells me the range. And I suppose in here, I could have put like 300. I could have done it that way. And that would have selected the whole range for me. And it gives it a name for the filter. So if I just wanted to know who didn't take math in the second window, I could come up here and go to conditions and do filter by is empty, right? And that would tell me who hasn't taken math. But again, I want to know who hasn't tested at all, or who doesn't have a math score at all, right? So I'm going to come back here. Oh, and I could save this and call this math. And everyone doesn't see this unless they go and they look at the filter views. But once I save this to the spreadsheet, we have this filter view saved. So now I have math, right? So I'm going to come back and I'm going to do none. And now I'm going to, and do it the smart way, create a new filter view. But I'm going to go D through T. And if you don't know this, you can just go select all the cells, right? 300, okay? But that gives me the cells that I want. Oh, no, I want D2 because I want to do by the second row, right? So that gives me all the cells that I want, okay? Oh, and I want A too. I don't want it to just filter. There. Okay, so now I have my filters, right? Okay. So this is going to be needs to test. And if they need to test, they should be blank in both math and reading, right? So who needs to test in my second window? Well, the way that I figure this out, and I had to cheat here, okay? So this formula right here is how I figure this out, okay? So this is an either or statement. So it says is equal to blank in column H. So that's my math score. True. Or, and I have this comma, right? So this separates my two variables. Is blank and comma J is equal to true. And the reason why this isn't coming up as a formula is because I didn't put the equal sign in the front, because I wanted to be able to show this logic to you. And I'll even include this in the email. If your columns are different, you just change the letter of the column. So let's say my data was an I or G, I could just change the letter of my column. But this isn't going to be like a regular formula. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do filter by condition, and I'm going to choose custom, sorry, let me scroll this a little bit. Sometimes the toolbars get in the way. Okay, so I'm going to do filter by condition, and I'm going to come down to custom formula. And then I'm going to put the equal sign, and I'm going to put in this formula that I already figured out. I'm not going to make you watch me figure out the formula because it took me a while to get the syntax and all right. So I will just give it to you. Once you figure it out, it's good. I'm going to click OK. And now I have everyone who is blank in both of those, and I have it saved as a filter view. So if I wanted to share this, so I wanted everyone to see the students that still need to test, I could come up here and just copy the web link from up here instead of going to the share view, right? And that will copy it with this filter on. I can also just tell everyone if they go to data and go to filter views, they'll see these named views, okay? I'm gonna go back to none, and this is the way everyone sees the spreadsheet, so it does not change the data. Anyway, I figured this out this week, and I thought it was super cool, and I didn't exactly know how filters worked in Google Sheets because it's not exactly how it works in Excel. So I hope this is helpful to you. Bye, have a great week.